Cultural feminism acknowledges the differences between men and women. They say men are different and women are different. They have different qualities, but none of them is better than the other. None of them is the superior one and the other is the inferior. So they are equal, but they have different qualities. So it sees women's culture as distinct and valuable rather than inferior. So it calls again for equality and it values the feminine qualities of women. So they are qualities to be celebrated and to be proud of, not to be looked down on. Among the key figures in cultural feminism, we can mention Carol Gilligan. Here it's important to note this. If you Google or ask any platform of AI about cultural feminists, it will provide you with a lot of cultural feminists, but some of or most of these feminists belong to other types more than this specific type. So you can see some famous feminists that are considered to be radical. And radical feminism is definitely not the same as cultural feminism. It's also considered as an opposing one. So that's why I included here just one example. And I want you to be careful about this, especially if you Google it or use AI. You will see many radical feminists as examples of cultural feminism because some of their works can be used or can be considered as cultural feminist literary works or cultural works. That's why you can see their names in cultural feminism, but however, they are definitely not cultural feminists. Among some of the most famous or relevant cultural feminist works, we can talk about In a Different Voice by Carol Gilligan, and we can mention Of Woman Born by Adrienne Rich. If you remember, Adrienne Rich is considered as one of the radical feminists, but this work is more relevant to cultural feminism. That's why I included it in this example. And we have another work, The Woman's Room by Marlene French. One of the slogans that expresses cultural feminism best, I think, is value the feminine. Well, cultural feminism argues that women and men have differences. So, women traits such as empathy, cooperation, and care should be recognized as socially valuable. So, unlike radical feminism critiques femininity and considers it as socially constructed. Cultural feminism tends to embrace an essentialist view of female nature. So, in other words, cultural feminism celebrates women's culture and argues that feminine values could lead to a more peaceful, ethical, and ecologically balanced society. So it's not about primarily about sameness as in liberal feminism, or it's not as radical feminism. It's not a systematic revolution to change the whole structure of society. So to summarize, cultural feminism and radical feminism might share some points, like both critique the patriarchal system. However, cultural feminism seeks to reclaim female identity rather than abolish gender categories entirely. So, cultural feminism seeks for reformation and understanding and like valuing the qualities of women. Meanwhile, radical feminism wants to reconstruct the whole structure of society. So, how to apply cultural feminism to a literary work? You can examine any piece of literature that values the feminine qualities of characters or seeks for like the rights of a character, but within the qualities that women tend to have. So any piece of literature that values femininity or uh, celebrates these differences. So the philosophical core of cultural feminism is that men and women are different but equal. Feminine qualities often dismissed under patriarchy. This is the point that they share with all other types of feminism. But however, these qualities are valuable and should shape society.